So after it feels like years of delays, the live action Snow White from Disney is finally out. Is it as bad as many people thought it looked? Let's dive in. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Movie Dive. Today we're diving into 2025's Snow White. Before we do, please do not forget to subscribe to Movie Dive. I'm trying to get this little channel to 8,000 subscribers. And if we do, I'll be giving away a free $150 gift card to a random subscriber of my choice. And if you comment down below, you have a higher chance of winning. So I was trying as hard as I could going into Snow White, trying to block out all the noise and all the negativity that surrounded this movie ever since it was announced. Of course, we have Zegler basically going on a press tour, just making this movie look absolutely bad, making herself look like a whiny brat every single time they put a microphone in front of her. And there's all, of course, the stupid complaints saying that she's not white and blah, blah, blah. And again, I try to block that out going into this movie, just walking in telling myself, hey, if it's a good movie, you gotta admit it's a good movie. And I'll start off with a few positives here, in that I do think there are moments in this film that the color does really pop and that the set pieces do look pretty good, although a lot of it is CGI, and they do look like a fairy tale you would see from, the books in the 1930s. And Rachel Zegler is fine. She's not bad. She's not great. There's moments that she shines more than others in this movie. There's no moment in this movie, however, that awes me. For example, when I was watching Wicked, how Ariana Grande really popped out of the screen and brought that character to life. Rachel Zegler does not do that in any moment of this movie. I'm not going to try to bash it too hard, of course, because these are real people, but every time Gal Gadot was on the screen, the secondhand embarrassment I felt in my seat while watching this movie. I don't know whose idea was it to give her actual singing moments in this movie. It kind of feels like you were watching a high school theater play and they forced one of the science teachers to be in it, and she's never acted before, and she said fine, she'll do it because she likes having fun. The thing is, Snow White, of course, came out in 1937. It was a famous animated movie. It still is a famous movie to this day. Disney has definitely missed quite a bit when it comes to these live action remakes, and I think Snow White is definitely just not a movie you should be making live action. That, of course, starts with the Seven Dwarfs in this movie. There's been so much stupid controversy around that. When they appeared on screen, they looked like the kids from Polar Express in the early 2000s. That's definitely not a good thing. They looked very off. And I'm not going to sit here and say I had an answer. There is no answer to who should be playing those dwarfs. Do they get real ones in real life, or do they animate them? No matter what, it's going to look weird. There's going to be people screaming from all over the place. And that's why I say this is just not a movie you should be making a live action remake of. There's a lot of new songs in this movie that absolutely bored me to death. There was a lot of moments that felt just absolutely dull in this film as well. Of course, the original Snow White has never been my top of the line favorite animated Disney movie of all time. However, it definitely brings you into the classic fairy tale world. I just never really felt any magic or any care while watching this movie. So is it as bad as people are saying it is? Yeah, it's a pretty bad movie. It's something that I definitely wish I didn't waste my time watching. Of course, again, Rachel Zegler, whenever she's on screen, it's like bad to fine, but since Gal Gadot's in this movie, it just goes from bad to worse. I'm sure Rachel Zegler is going to learn her lesson. I think she actually is a good actress. She'll probably grow and realize the stupid things she did. Then there's Gal Gadot, who can go back to singing Imagine on her phone to her viewers 6 days into COVID quarantine. So Snow White, the 2025 version, of course, not something I'm going to recommend to anyone, not something I'm going to recommend to kids either. Why don't you just go ahead and watch the original? So 2025 is just not off to a good start at all. I'm going to go ahead and give Snow White a 33 out of 100. Have you guys seen Snow White? Are you going to wait for it to come out on demand? You guys let me know in the comments. Please do not forget to subscribe. We will see you next time on The Movie Dive.